Hey everybody, Break here, and we're on D-50, and the PG-1000 programmer. Okay, I'm going to talk today about the initializing process again with the programmer, and I'll be able to show you the menus for, or the screens for both the D-50 and the programmer. So that might possibly help explain the process a little better. Okay, so when you have the D-50 and the programmer connected, you'll need to have a MIDI cable from the in port of D-50 to the out port on the programmer. And there it is. Okay. And also power up D-50 first. There it is. And then we'll power up the programmer second. Alrighty. Look at this screen here showing a bunch of random numbers and letters and kind of much a useless patch. This is the result from when I changed the battery on D-50. When you do that, the D-50 has a bunch of information in its memory and everything else. So once you change the battery, it takes all that away, and D-50 pretty much doesn't know what to do with all that information. So once all that's gone, it just puts things in its place and just puts a bunch of random information here. So this patch doesn't do anything. It's not going to make a sound. The volume switches up. And it's kind of tricky because you have to figure out why it's not making any sound. So, most of the time, actually when I thought my D-50 was broken because it wouldn't do anything no matter what I did. But it's kind of tricky. So anyways, it is actually just fine. I'm going to go here and change this to this setting here. So we hear all 4 oscillators. And the second thing we need to do is go into one of these parts in the either lower or the upper tone edit, just so we can see the zeros and see the fact that they are not on. So that's another reason why we're not hearing any sound at all, is the fact that there's nothing specified. And this is not even initialized yet. So what I want to do is ask it to initialize this, just so we have something to start with. I'm going to go into the upper oscillator and tell it to initialize that as well. Okay, and we're still hearing no sound. So the next thing we need to do is turn these oscillators on and use these here. This is lower, these two, and this is the upper oscillator right here. And let's see. So it's actually kind of confusing in a way because there's 2 sets of everything here. So you have the lower and the upper part here, and then you also have another set here. And this is for editing purposes. Okay. So we'll go ahead and turn these on. Still hear nothing. Okay, so the next thing, once you've done all that and you still hear absolutely nothing, we're going to go into, actually I'm going to use the programmer, and select all 4 oscillator partials. And go into lower and upper, and specify both of those. And we'll go over here to the volume output. And we're still hearing nothing. Another thing I like to do is just make sure that the cutoff filter isn't so far turned down that we're not hearing anything either. Okay. A couple more things we can try. And I'm going to go into the TVA and turn the level all the way up. Oops. Let's specify those there. And this switch is kind of faulty on my programmer. Still not hearing anything. The next thing you can do is go into structure, set that all to 1, so that we hear all of those. It's still not wanting to talk. Let's see. Go in the... and there we go. Okay, what I did there was I went to the partial balance, which is right next to the LCD. And if you go into the lower one and move the joystick around, and then go into the upper one and move it around just a little, it'll start to see that the volume isn't up, and it'll actually set that. So now we have a seriously crazy sound. Actually rather unpleasant. Okay. So there's a couple of reasons for why the sound sounds this way. First of all the parameters, since this has been initialized, are kind of set to just crazy values. So it's kind of confusing about why it does it like that, but it's D-50 for you. Okay. The reason why this sounds like that, because we have a lot of the settings in the chorus and effects unit set to very, very high values. So what I'm going to do is find where the chorus is, which is right here. This whole section here deals with the type, rate, depth, and the different values for the chorus and the effects unit. I'm going to go here and kind of just turn all these down to halfway reasonable levels. Okay. So now we have at least something that's sort of like a square wave. And the next thing I normally do is I'll go into the envelope generator here and take the envelope mode off so that you're not hearing the waveform falling. So you actually hear it start to, you can hear the fact that there's the envelope mode is on. And I'm going to go into here and turn that, instead of a positive or a negative, I turn it all the way off. Let's see what we have. Okay, so now we'll have a regular sound that doesn't go from one pitch to another. And then another thing you want to do is to go ahead and tune these. So you select this here, these two switches up here, for both, or all four of the partials. And then we'll go into each one of these and set these to zeros. And to tune these, I'm using these switches here in the very beginning section for the fine tuning and the shift. I'm going to set all those as close to zero as you can get. And there we go. Okay, so after all that, we have a sound we can at least start to work with. So, there's a regular old square wave. And they give you a square wave to start with because it has the most harmonics. It's very, very rich in harmonic content. There's also a saw wave, but a square wave has all odd harmonics. So you can at least start with, a very rich waveform. That's nice and thick. Okay. So then once you have all that and D-50 is making some decent sound you can work with, you can start to go into all the editing parameters here.